President Biden set to visit the southwest part of the state next month, highlighting his policies to lower costs and encourage renewable energy and advanced manufacturing. Biden won the state by about 20,000 votes in 2020, and now Democrats are hoping to gain ground in rural areas where Trump had the advantage in past elections. Today, former President Trump said to meet with voters at a town hall in La Crosse. This comes as brand new poll shows he is back on top in Wisconsin with a 1-point lead. Previous polling had shown Harris with a lead of more than 3%. For more context, we turn now to Republican State Representative Robert Wittke from Racine. Thank you so much for joining us, Representative. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's our pleasure as well. So we know nationally the economy, pretty much the dominating issue across the board. Are there economic issues unique to your state you would like to hear the former president address during his visit today?
I think one of the biggest things that we have is we have a large agricultural economy that has been particularly hurt by high fertilizer costs, high seed costs, and high fuel costs. And I know that there are many in our rural areas that would like to hear what the president is going to do to turn the economy down. He's done it once before, and those policies worked. We would like to return to that. Our small businesses are suffering. Employment is a struggle as well. And, we've had a flood of federal dollars into this state that haven't been completely exhausted at this point as well. So all I want to hear from the president today is to stick to the issues as he has. High fuel costs, this Green New Deal that's forcing us into energy that's not ready for general consumption, and just continue on. The border is also an issue here. There are people that are concerned that we will start seeing whether it be bus loads, flight loads of immigrants coming across that will be put into the state as well. That's one of the things I heard the other day when I was out. So people want to feel safe. We've got issues with crime as well. We think that President Trump has the answers that will guide us to a more prosperous future.
You know, there are some who would argue that Republicans are really losing when it comes to the issue of abortion. And based on the numbers, it appears abortion is a very top issue for voters in your state. The former president has been very clear, saying he would oppose a federal abortion ban, leave abortion access up to the states. He's taking hits from really both sides, pro and anti-abortion. What are you hearing from voters in your district?
So it remains an issue. It seems to be a higher issue amongst Democrat or liberal voters than it is Republican voters. What I know is that in my district, people want access, but they don't want the extreme policies that the Democrats have put forward with everything that goes all the way through birth. I come from a part of the state where we've incurred quite a bit of unwanted pregnancies. I'm a big proponent of having better access to contraception. I believe that we also maybe need to focus on education and what we're teaching in our K through 12 schools, so that people understand that the act does produce a life. But the Democrats will make it an issue here, and we passed a bill that provides better access to contraception. And we were looking towards recommendation. I know we passed out of the Assembly a bill that would have sent a question to the citizens of the state as to what they, what kind of limitations or how they would like abortion to be handled in our state.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.